you can't build money first. You got to build you first. It's an inside job. And I love being around people who are at where I want to be.
Welcome to The Conscious Investor. Let's get started. Welcome back, Conscious Investors. You are in for a treat. You are in for eavesdropping in on a conversation with one of my favorite humans. Now, you know, if you've been listening, I have some favorite humans on the planet, and Lawrence Latty is absolutely, hands down, one of my favorite humans on the planet. The book club that has been running now for 2 years, that whole book club came about because of Lawrence Latty, Mr. International, asking a simple question: Julie, what's the next book? And when I gave pushback, this is just like a one and done. This wasn't a club type thing. And no, really, what's the next book? This is good. And it just kept going. And so Lawrence has played a very instrumental role in my life, in my journey. He is a light to the world. He has so much wisdom. He has an amazing meetup group that meets virtually on Tuesday nights. He's just involved in so many different ways that is empowering people on a personal level and in their investing. So you can already see there's just like a harmony right there between the Conscious Investor and Mr. Lawrence Latty. So I just want to say thank you for joining us, Lawrence, and listeners. You're no doubt you're going to love it. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Julie, for inviting me on your podcast. This is I'm honored and privileged to be on the Conscious Investor. Thank you.
The privilege is all mine. You know, it's been so neat because when we met, you would be at work and somehow you'd manage to be on Zoom calls. And, you know, sometimes it was just your voice, but we knew you were there and offering inspiration. And now you're retired, you're full-time real estate and so much more. What a journey, and what an awesome thing to be able to share with you.
Well, thank you, Julie. Once again, thank you. I mean, I remember the book club, that one and done. I was like, we can't do that.
So you have your own meetup group, and it's so good, you guys. It's so good. I wish I could go every week. Timing wise, for my Pacific time makes it challenging with my family. But tell us about your meetup group. Tell us about your networking, your 4 P's of networking, because I'm sure they're in line with each other.
Okay, well, I started this group, this meetup in 2020. And what happened is I've learned a few things from this, because I was wanting to start at the beginning of the year, right before the pandemic began, right? And I want to start before that, but I kept on jumping the rope. So I figured once you make a decision, just do it, right? That's
Take massive action.
Take massive action. So I did. I started taking massive action in 20. I started on October 13th. I started there's a first day to meet up, and it's called Financial Independence to Small Multifamily Investing. It's a weekly meetup on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. And it's grown immensely, right? It's not grown because of me, anything I've done. It's because of the guests and the people who attend.
Okay, I actually am going to challenge you on that. It is also, you do have great guests, but you are you, and you are just a magnet of, you're okay. You bring people. Bring people.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you. But I really believe in my heart that's because of the people who attend and the guests. Because I work on bringing the most value to the attendees. Right. That's what I really work on, bring the most value to attendees. And also with that, I always talk about the 4 P's of networking, because part of this virtual platform we're on is about networking also. Right. Talking about, positivity. Right. So when you come on and talk about coming to meet up, don't come in. How you doing? No, come on there with some energy. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Right? Be positive. Bring a positive attitude, right? Because your attitude shows through your gratitude. So bring some positivity into the space, right? Also talking about being prosperous, right? Prosperity, right? You can bring prosperity into the meetup by reading books so you can give out information, share the information you have, right? Mm-hmm. Then you also want to create patterns, right? And the patterns you create is by coming to meetups every week, right? And this is also the same thing as going face to face now. Mm-hmm. Because you come every week, people get to know, like, and they start to trust you. We talk about KLT a lot, right? Know, like, and trust. Do not come into a meetup, this meetup or the breakout room or a face-to-face meetup. Hey, what's going on in your business? People don't understand how much you know, understand how much you care. And part of that is getting to know people, their personal selves, right? So I talk about the FORD, right? FORD, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Let's talk about family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Then forget people get to know you. And then you talk about, like, that's part of the patterns. So you got to take patterns to come in, and every time people get to know, like, your choice, like I said. And then the final thing is producing. And how you produce? By following up with people. I got to work on that. Guilty. I got to work on that. Follow up with people. Right? You got to follow up with people, follow up, call them, tell them, thank you, nice meeting you. You know, those are things, the 4 Ps, that's part of my networking and part of what people should do when they network.
I love it. I have the worst follow through also. Like, that's one where I struggle because I'm like, oh, we met, we're friends. Okay. And actually that sounds terrible because, like, well, of course you're going to hang out with your friends and get in touch with them and everything. So, but yeah, I love that. What are some, what kind of is your snag when it comes to that, following up with people?
My snag is not calling them right back, because what happens is we talked about this before we started recording. It's about managing myself. I need to start managing myself better. And because this thing is time management, there's managing yourself. And I got to manage my time. That means I got to make phone calls. I got to put things in place, put systems in place so I can call and know what I need to do, which is using my planner, using my phone, right? Using the phone to ring me and say, listen, pay your bills. You got to pay this bill this day here. You got to make this phone call, remind this person, come on the meetup. These are things I need to do. So as I'm working on these next 90 days, is to become better at self-management. Like you said before, when I was working, I was time managed. I worked from 9 to 11 at night, 9 to 12, 9 to 5, but I was managed. But now when you're retired, you got time. There's no time constraints. So I need it for me. I need to manage myself better.
Somebody's following up with you. I love it. But what's interesting is that I see a lot, oftentimes as people are transitioning, and I see this on the coaching side, they're transitioning from their W-2 job, and they're not retiring, but they're transitioning into full-time real estate and investing. And there is an identity shift. And there's also that shift of learning to manage oneself, because you don't have someone telling you what to do. What are some of the biggest breakthroughs you've had with managing yourself? Well,
just as I've been working on this for almost the whole year. Really, the whole year. So right now, just last weekend, July 1st I was retired for 1 year. Right, that's my first year retired.
Amazing.
And what I've done is I'm with the Jerome Myers coaching. And we reading this book called The 12-Week Year. And I promised myself that I'm going to implement this thing no matter what. And that's what I'm going to do. I will use my planner, because I fell down a few times, like using the planner. I used it January, February, March, so I just like you said, I don't know if I got some laziness. I just like, right? So this next time I made my planner out for the next 90 days. I put down my goals and what I'm going to do for the next 90 days. And I'm going to tell you right now, the goal is not real estate oriented. It's about managing me better. Because I can't manage me, I can't manage nothing else.
I love this. And I love the timing of when this podcast will come out. It'll come out, in this middle part of 2022. And I'm getting ready when this is airs, it will already have happened, but I'm actually doing a mid-year reboot coaching session for people for free, because I think that it's so easy to kind of, I've been working really hard, and so there are ways that we can navigate that so that we can sustain our energy levels, right? But it's just interesting to see that this is such a common, we can do something and play all out for a short period of time, but in the period of a year, it's more like, I can do a sprint, but can I do the marathon?
Right.
And you're going for the marathon. I love the permission you've given yourself. This is just like such an example, role model material where it's like, okay, I'm not going to beat myself up over that, that I stopped using my planner. I'm going to start using my planner again.
Right. Well, listen, let's be clear. I was beating myself up, right?
Okay.
I was beating myself up.
In a healthy way, apparently, because you're back on the planner. So let's talk about that. Yeah.
Okay, what happened is that I was beating myself up, and I spoke. We went away for a mastermind weekend, and I spoke about that. And somebody said, "Yeah, give yourself some grace. You give everybody else grace, give yourself some grace." And that resonated with me a lot. I'm like, I gotta stop this. I tell you know what? I don't sometimes follow my own suggestions. I tell people stop beating yourself up with a bat, pick up a feather. But I'm the one still beating myself with a bat. Right? So I took my own suggestion, and I stopped beating myself up. I gave myself some grace. And I said, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Let me just work on what I need to do going forward. As opposed to still staying in the back, right? Because you can't, listen, the past is gone. They're not coming back to look for you. So why are you looking for it? Right? And so let me just start on this 90-day journey. Not the whole year, not the next 6 months, the next 90 days. Yeah. I'm going to work on myself. I repeat it I'm going to repeat it again. Managing myself. I keep that in the forefront of my brain. I need to manage myself. Because like I said before, if I can't manage myself and my time, how am I going to manage real estate, anything else? Because I'll just be like all over the place. Right?
When you say all over the place, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. For me, when we're recording this, it's summer break. My kids are at home. So I'm having to navigate and make sure, that the kids are taken care of while, I have my work to tend to. And, it's like, there's always lots of elements and moving parts in life and shifting parts. And so I can see this managing thyself, really takes care of a lot of these things. I like that you put things on autopilot. Like, hey, it's just a calendar reminder of paying certain bills and having these reminders to take certain actions. Because I had an episode recently on decision fatigue. And so you've just eliminated having to even think and decide about something. So you're conserving energy with that. I love it.
Right. Because you know what? I was with a guest. I had a guest on my meetup, Duran Chandler. He talked about putting things on your phone, notifications. I said, how simple is that? Gee. Like you bite your tongue up, right? And it's really simple. So that's what I worked on. I worked on that. We talked about before. I also seek guests for another meeting that I do. I've gotten everybody together from July, August, September. Right? 90
days.
90 days.
90 days.
I'm good. Like you said, decisions are off. I ain't got to look and run around for nobody to find somebody to speak. And I have, like I said before, I'm also in a 12-step program where I'm a co-chair. So I got speakers for the whole next 2 months every Sunday, right? So
amazing.
Good. Right? I feel this is just right now. I feel less stress already. Right? Because of the decisions I made to just follow through with somebody's suggestion. A lot of times I tell people I suggest, it's not only follow my own suggestions, which is not good, which is not bad, but I guess I'm not going to beat myself about either.
Right.
Just for today, I'm going to work on what I need to work on. Let the past be the past.
One day at a time.
There you go.
One day at a time. I love how you surround yourself with so many extraordinary people, and some of that is, and I know that you and Jerome are also friends, but participating in his paid mastermind, like there are some things where we pay to surround ourselves with people, and then you create community also. And I love that combination that you have in your life of like, of inviting a lot of different voices into your life. And I can hear, as you've been sharing, Lawrence, I hear how it's like, well, I was at that mastermind group, we were away. By the way, I think that trip looked absolutely amazing. From the pictures I saw people posting, I'm like, wow, what a great time. But, like having that time away to be around people that also are looking to bring out the best in their greatest potential, like to be able to speak the truth into each other's life is so powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. It's, it's like, it's the truth. Your net worth is your network.
Mm-hmm.
And net worth is not always equal money. Mm-hmm. Worth is your worth is you also.
Mm-hmm.
Worth is you. What are you, your net worth, right? Is your insides, your heart, your spirit. And that's what you got to build first. You can't build money first. You got to build you first. It's an inside job. And I love being around people who are at where I want to be. Because you can't, listen, I played racquetball. You can't be a D player, become a B player playing somebody else's D player. You got to play a B player to become better.
This is so, so true. Do you ever get intimidated? Sometimes I am around so many extraordinary people, such as yourself, that sometimes I have found myself in a point of like, oh my gosh, look at all these people. They're so amazing, and they're friends, but am I ever going to rise to that occasion? And there is that little seed of like, holy cow, like, look at the caliber.
Mm.
I don't know if other people ever experience that. I don't it doesn't last long. It's more like, heck yeah.
Exactly. Come on, right? Yeah. What happens is it only lasts for a second. You're like, wow. But then you got to gather yourself and like FORD, right? Family occupation recreation. Because I always tell people, listen, nobody's better than nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Everybody's the same. Right? It's just that we got to build ourselves. We want to get to where they're at. We got to find out how they got there. Mm. And the answer to that is the question: how did you do it?
It's always a simple question.
Yeah.
Well, I have a "how did you do it" question for you, and that is clarity. Because I have learned through working in a planner that the planner is only as good as the clarity of a vision. And then clarity on understanding what has to take place in order for that. What are the tasks that would actually bring that about and how it, right? And so there's such a high level of clarity that I have found that is necessary. And it sounds like you have discovered that as well, because your action is just, that momentum is with you. You've got a good tailwind. How have you found that clarity?
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you, that book, The 12-Week Year, because I read it before. Mm-hmm. I tried it. I didn't say try, implement. I worked on implementing it, but it just didn't click. Mm-hmm. Right? But for some other reason, it's clicking now. So the clarity for me right now, like I said, I'm going to keep on saying it for this next, is managing myself. That's my purpose. Mm-hmm. That's the purpose. These next 90 days to manage myself. Therefore, when I manage myself for these next 90 days, it will carry on for the next 9 days. So I'm very clear on this. I need to manage myself. I've talked about this before on the meetup. We talked about it. Me and Aaron Goins, Mark Caesar, people who gets to come meet up, other attendees, managing yourself. And that's my clarity right now. I'm very clear. And that's probably people saying, he's saying the same thing over and again. Yeah, managing myself.
Yep. But you also said that it also sounds like, knowing where you want to go. Like in the next 90 days, I know where I'm going.
Right, exactly. The next 90 days, I must make X amount of phone calls. I know that I'm going to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. I know that I'm reading a book, one book of the Bible every day. I'm going to spend time. I've even gotten up earlier, 7. Some 4 o'clock is fantastic. Everybody, 7 o'clock is great for me right now. Right?
At some point, I will be able to be a 7 o'clocker. Believe it or not, I think I would thrive at 6 or 7 o'clock far better than the early mornings.
Right. So I thrive at that time. I implemented this just this beginning of this quarter here, right? Mm-hmm. Even when I was away, I went away for the weekend at a friend's, my lady's brother's house. I got up at 7 o'clock. Right? I want to create, because the clarity is that you got to just keep on doing this. Mm-hmm. You got to implement it. Yeah, you must implement this. You got to implement this. And then you got to put action to it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that action is a lot of people. I was reading a book, $100 million Offers, started reading this, and he talks about wantpreneurs. And it's like people who want things, but they actually aren't taking the action. Like, oh, you're just a wantpreneur. I'm like, whoa, that could sting. Wow. I appreciate that level of truth, though. But
you know what? Honesty and being open. Listen, honesty, open-mindedness, and wellness. You got to be honest with yourself, open-minded, because you can't graft the new idea in a closed mind. You got to be willing to take the steps to put in action. Mm-hmm. Right? And if you can't be honest with yourself, be honest with us. You know what? Because last week I had on Logan Freeman, James Bryant, and Jerome on my meetup. Right?
Oh my gosh! What
what you say?
Amazing lineup right there.
Thank you. That was fire, right?
Yeah.
They all talk about the same thing. It's about self, being true to yourself, be honest with yourself, evaluating you. Because you can't do nothing else if you can't evaluate you, right? It's like love. I can't love you if I don't love myself, right? And it all begins on the inside, right? You got to look at what you're doing, give yourself some grace, make the choice to get back up and continue going. Because all life is a choice, right? Life is choices. Whether you want to stay down is a choice. Getting back up is a choice also.
Oh, I love it. What would you say, someone's listening right now and they're feeling that slump, and everyone's been there, where it's like, Lawrence, I hear you. I know it's a choice. I'm dragging. I'm discouraged. I'm this, I'm that, right? Like everyone experiences their own challenge. I love the book, The Alchemist, the fable. It's like we're going to be tested along life's journey to see how much we really want something in life. Mm-hmm. So they're being tested right now. What kind of encouragement would you offer them?
I would say, keep the faith, right? Keep the faith and keep the dream alive. And the only way to keep the dream alive is by you continuing on the journey, right? The joy is the journey. The joy is the journey. So keep the journey alive. Don't stop. Right? Mm-hmm. If you need to take a rest, stop. Take a rest. Give yourself permission. Ask me how I know. Right?
Right.
So it's okay to stop. It's okay to say, oh my. But you know what? Still keep on going. Take that rest. And when you take that rest, get your head right. Write yourself up. Right. And just like that's what happened. I took a rest this last 3 days, but the July 4th week, I took a rest.
Yeah.
I stopped. I stopped for a whole day. I didn't do nothing. Didn't open the computer, did nothing. Stop. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Right. Feel the light. Right. Listen, I believe this, right? We are made in God's likeness and image. There's nothing we can't do. Because I believe one thing, it's you against you. Right? So therefore, give yourself permission to stop. Give yourself some grace. Put the bat down. Pick up the feather. Stop beating yourself up. Feather. It's real light. It's easy, right? But don't stop. Make a decision to take the action to change. Complete the circle.
Oh, I love that. I've been thinking about the concept of resistance a lot recently, just as I'm preparing for the mid-year reboot, and what many people are experiencing. And it comes to that resistance. And I was out hiking with my family last weekend, and just gorgeous, gorgeous trail. Oh my gosh, just jaw-dropping beauty everywhere. But along that path, it's that talking to the kids about, we'll get there. We don't have to go fast. And if we are going fast and we start to get tired, then we can slow down, but we don't have to come to a full, complete stop. And this doesn't hold true for all parts of life. Or maybe it's like last weekend when you didn't open your computer and I made that same choice. I'm like, I have to step away. It's not that things aren't still churning in the background. It's not that things are happening. It's that I'm resting. And so I think there's such a importance to that people are, especially young entrepreneurs and young investors that are trying to make that headway. They feel like they just have to push. And it's like, you're going to burn yourself out. As long as you're taking that one step. Ed Milet just released, his book, The Power of One More. I haven't read it yet. I can't wait to. It's on the list. So it's like just one more, that concept of one more rep, right? Like just one step. It could be a big step. It could be a tiny little shuffle, but one step.
Well, you're right about that, because, last week, I think it was James talked about that, right? Take little steps. Keep the momentum going. Mm-hmm. Keep the momentum going. Just one step every day, right? Mm-hmm. Logan Freeman talking about being 1% better every week. Mm-hmm. If we start the year off at 0, being 1% better every week, at the end of the year, you're 365%. Mm-hmm. Jerome talks about that, working from the inside out, right? Mm-hmm. Just take that. Listen, like you said, take that one step. Take that one step. Right? If it's a long step, a short step, but take the step, keep the momentum going. Like, the other day, it's funny you said that, because the other day I didn't adhere to my planner, right? Because what happened is I have an Airbnb also. And the people came in, the cleaner was there. What happened was the cleaner had something happened that she could make it. And I had to start cleaning the room. They came in, they went, can I just fresh myself up? Right? I said, sure, go ahead. But then it sort of set me back to clean the room. Mm. But there's things I wanted to go to the gym on, this one, that. And I felt myself saying, oh, look at this. Oh my gosh. I had to step back and say, hold on. It's okay. I'm taking a step, that one little step. Mm-hmm. Just step back. So I got a phone, use the phone to do what I need to do anyway. Mm-hmm. Right? So just take that step, that one little step to further your momentum, to keep it going. That's all. It doesn't be you have to have like the 4th of July fireworks every day. It's the mundane thing you do, that one little thing, the mundane thing you do, to just keep it going. Mm-hmm. To stay pushing forward. That's all.
That's all it is. I love that. I love that so much. Lawrence, I'm just so grateful to be able to share conversation, our conversation with, these amazing conscious investors. And I'm so grateful for all that you do. Before, as we're starting to wrap up, I just want to make sure, is there anything else that you're like, what, I need to share this with people?
I think
we haven't touched on.
That, you know what? Bottom line is, for me, and this is my saying, I got it from David Goggins, right? It's you against you. Mm. That's it. Your mind is not your friend all the time.
Definite. Yeah, you got to mind the mind.
But mind the mind, right? And watch yourself talk, right? Mm-hmm. The tongue kills more people than guns. Mm. Right? The tongue kills more people than guns. Watch what you're saying to yourself. Be mindful of what you're saying to yourself. And be mindful of what you're saying to others. Mm-hmm. Right? That's all. I mean, listen, I did KISSS. Keep it simple, right? Keep it simple, right? My thing is love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, faithfulness, being humble, soul, and self-control. Against such, there's no law.
And I love that verse. I love that.
right? Galatians, right? 23 and 25, chapter verse 23 and 25, right? Just be to show love. I believe that there's more love in this world, we wouldn't be at where we are right now. So how about this? Everybody show love to everybody else, right? Be patient, be kind of, and it will come back to you 20-fold.
No, absolutely. Golly, I love that. I love that. Lawrence, listeners, I do have a calendar, a Google Calendar, and it has links to virtual meetup groups. So we're going to include a direct link to the calendar and also a direct link to Lawrence's meetup group. But can you share a little bit about your meetup group and kind of when is it? What should they expect? And
okay. Well, the meetup group is, like I said before, financial independence through small multifamily investing, right? And I bring in guests from all different sectors, different areas, right? I have Masha Kapilova talk about self-storage. We talk about mindset. Every quarter, we talk about mindset, right? I had Julie on because the beginning of the year was Mindset January. Julie, Edmund Chen, I had Hudson Marine Investor on talking about mindset. Every week we have somebody on. Every week I have somebody on. This week coming up is going to be Deja Serrano and Luke, right? Talking about teamwork as a team in real estate, working together, right? That's on 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday, right? Eastern Standard Time. Let's get that right.
4 p.m. Pacificers.
There you go.
That's when my kids get out of school when they're in school.
And also, I am coming to Charlotte, North Carolina, right? July 30th for a mastermind dinner series, right? We're going to be at the Capitol Grill. You can find it on Eventbrite also. And we're coming, that's going to be Charlotte on July 30th. We're going to be in Washington, D.C. on September. And the last stop is going to be New York City in December.
I love it.
I'm from New York City. You hear the ambulance. How I know, I don't even see it. I just know different sirens.
Oh, I love it. It just reminds me of, now I just hear chickens and cows literally in tractors. So I'm like, oh, the sounds of a city. I still love them. I still love them. Oh my goodness. Lawrence, thank you. We will make sure we have contact information. Make sure you reach out to Lawrence. Make sure you go to his meetup group because seriously, it's such the energy in the group is just so fantastic. I was impressed. I wish I could go every single week. So do yourself a favor and make it a point to go to the meetup group. And if you're on the East Coast or wherever you are and you want to go to some of those awesome dinners, you should go to those dinners. They're amazing. I haven't been to one. I just see these pictures and see all these people having a great time and people I know who are genuine. And I'm like, oh, that's a room to be in. Thank you,
Julie. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Oh, one last thing too. I also have my YouTube channel also, right? Yes. So I have a YouTube channel. If you can visit it, please like and subscribe. I have all the meetups with all different guests. Julie Holly's on there. If you missed it, you can check her out.
There you go. Amazing conscious investors. Remember that investing belongs, not investing. Let's go backwards, rewind. Adventure belongs on the trail, not in your investing, not in your personal development investing, and not in your financial investing. So if you need support in keeping the adventure in the right places, then please reach out. I do have some spaces still open for coaching, and there's always group coaching that's available. It's so powerful, and that changes the game for everybody. Until next time, live big, love bigger. Are you enjoying this episode? Help spread the word by sharing the episode with a friend or family member. Because really, where would any of our lives be without other people sharing great content with us? Help spread the word by sharing on your social platforms and with those you care about. And remember, tag me at Happy Julie Holly.